Happy? You must be so pumped to, bring an event like that.
To have my friends and family in the crowd is such a special thing. I know for me, being able to, before my race, look up into the stands, see familiar faces, and I guess race in front of them is something that I cherish. I don't get to do it very often at all. It might be my last opportunity to race at an international level in Australia, so it's an opportunity that I definitely didn't want to miss, and it's an opportunity that I want to make sure that I capitalise on and do as well as I possibly can for my country in front of a home crowd. So I'm very, very excited for that opportunity at the end of the year, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Who is Kyle Chalmers? What gets you going?
I think racing in a swimming sense is what gets me going. Obviously, I love performing. I love performing in front of a crowd and having the opportunity to race against the best swimmers in the world and challenge myself and see how far I guess I can take my sport and see how far I can possibly push myself. To me, it's probably racing and hopefully inspiring the next generation of swimmers coming through and, in a sense, try to make swimming cool. Yeah, so I had a condition called supraventricular tachycardia, so SVT for short. So essentially my heart rate would go up 200 plus out of nowhere. So we could be sitting here doing this interview right now and my heart rate could go up to 200 and I'd have no way of stopping it. And I'd go pretty dizzy, and you know what it's like to do a max heart rate session. You don't feel overly great after doing it. So that happening while I was training was always an issue, but the actual potential of that happening race day or in a race was the serious concern. So I had a surgery for it in 2015, and the surgery was unsuccessful because they weren't able to get enough adrenaline to my heart to find the problem. I got back from the World Championships and they put me straight pretty well into surgery, went in, took the whole circuit out completely, and I've been good ever since. So it's definitely something I'm very glad that I no longer have to worry about. As athletes, we do have to deal with so many challenges. We are humans at the end of the day. We face the same challenges as every person has to face, and then you unfortunately probably at times have to do it in the public spotlight. It's an interesting road and journey that I've definitely been on, but I feel like I'm definitely at the pinnacle of it now, and I've faced the challenges that I have to face, and by 2024 I'll be bulletproof again and ready to perform. I think as a young athlete, you're bulletproof and you're probably very naive to the world. So for me, I rocked up in Rio. I didn't know what to expect. I'd never been to an Olympic Games. I'd never raced individually before. Cameron McAvoy, one of my great mates from Australia, was the clear favourite in the 100 freestyle. So I was kind of able to fly under the radar, have fun. He introduced me to a lot of people in the marshalling room. You know, for me, it was the Olympic experience that I was so excited to have. I got to meet NBA basketballers. I got to sit next to Rafael Nadal for breakfast. I got to, see these athletes, Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps, these guys that you grow up supporting and watching actually there in the flesh. And I had no pressure, no expectation on me. I think for me, my goal was to make the Olympic final. Once I achieved that, I was able to just enjoy it and went on to obviously win it. And it probably wasn't until I went back to Australia and saw how much an Olympic gold medal actually, means to my friends, my family, and just the whole, I guess, country as a whole was a special thing. So it's something that I'm desperate to achieve, and what keeps me going is that feeling that I had right then and there is a feeling that I want to experience one day again. I think, I look at Tokyo as the race that probably changed my mindset in a lot of ways. I wasn't successful in winning, but for me, that's my proudest moment in my sport, because I stood up after all that adversity, all that pain, all the setback, swam a personal best time, swam an Olympic record, unfortunately got second, but it's a race and an event that I reflect on so fondly, and I, love that medal so much more than I love my Olympic gold medal in Rio, which is funny, but I worked and sacrificed so much over that 5 years for that moment that it means the world to me. So I think that's probably where my mindset changed, like going back to the room where my coach was after the race. He wasn't in Rio, so I wasn't able to share that experience with him, but to see him after my race in Tokyo just bawling his eyes out, crying, so proud of me, made it all worthwhile and made me go, hey, I got to be grateful for this, and I've got to take every opportunity I get. So That's probably why I've set out on this global tour of the World Cups in the last couple of years. I've done ISL, I've done World Champs, Com Games, I'll do World Short Course at the end of the year because I don't know how many I've got left.
Paris, what that as an Olympics represents to you?
This one's going to be, for me, I think a celebration of the Olympics being back to how it should be. It's going to be my third one, my redemption event, hopefully, and an event that am working so hard to achieve, and potentially, I'm looking at maybe my last race in swimming. You never know. So for me, I'm looking at this is the last 18 months of my swimming career. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to succeed in Paris. I'm very, very excited for that opportunity. And obviously we have David coming through in the 100 freestyle, who's just broken the world record, which excites me. Like Tokyo, I want it to be remembered as one of the races of the competition. I want there to be a world record broken at the Olympic Games. I think it's very challenging to swim a personal best at the Olympics with all the pressure and expectation, but to stand up and do a world record and win Olympic gold medal would be a very special way to go out. So I'm going to set my sights on that.
You want these challenges?
I want the challenges. I want to swim against the best. It kind of made me sad sitting back and watching him break the world record in the European finals, because it's an amazing achievement, but I want to be in that race. I want him to push me. I want to chase. I want to see how fast he can swim when he has me chasing him down or swimming right alongside of him. So I'm excited for the opportunity to race against him. Obviously me and Caleb have had some serious battles over the years, and I hope that he's in that final as well, swimming his absolute best. And I'm sure there's going to be some amazing more talent come out of the woodworks over these next couple of years, and that race is going to be extremely fast and amazing to be a part of.
What were you like as a kid though? Were you always one of those that were really competitive, wanted to win at everything?
I think definitely always been very competitive. I think not necessarily, I don't think you'd be able to externally see it all the time that I'm super competitive, but internally, and I think the people that are really close to me, like my coach, they know that I'm a competitive beast in whatever I do, and I don't like to lose no matter what. I think unfortunately you have to be that way to be at the top of probably anywhere in life that you want to get to. If you're a competitive person, you're going to succeed and keep continuing to climb your way up the ranks.
What sold you on swimming?
I didn't follow swimming. I knew obviously James Magnussen, probably didn't know any other swimmers, and didn't really know what to expect. For me, I was shattered that I missed a weekend of football. My coach wanted me to come across to Sydney and have experience racing. Went across, ended up making the team. Probably not trying my best in that race because I didn't want to make the team. I was so young. I liked the thought of going away with 30-year-old dudes to Russia for 6 or 8 weeks at that time, missing so much football. I was shattered. At the end of the day, I'm still a fanboy like today. I went to Chipotle for lunch, and an NBA basketball player that got drafted this year and would be a very unknown player in the NBA world, and no one else would notice him, but I noticed him walk in the Chipotle, and I was like, I got to get a photo with this guy. So instantly forget everything else, forget the conversation I'm having with Matt Sates, and just hand my phone to Matt and be like, bro, can you please take a photo with me? So for me, in those moments, as overwhelming as it can be at times where there's swarms of kids, you have to stop and give them the time, because they're the future of the sport. They're the ones that are looking to us for inspiration, and if I can give back as much as I possibly can and ignite that flame in them that, hey, I want to be a world short course champion or Olympic champion or whatever it happens to be.
Reptiles. Yeah. So tell me about that.
Yeah, reptiles. So I grew up in the country, so 7.5 hours away from Adelaide in a small country town, and my childhood was driving around probably catching lizards with my grandpa, and reptiles gives me my escape away from the pool. As much as it's probably a weird hobby, it's something that I love, and again, I get that adrenaline hit. I open up a drawer where the snakes are living, and depending on the day, they'll launch out and give me a bite or whatnot, and the crocodile give me a bite, whatever. So I kind of get that little bit of an adrenaline hit wrangling snakes, so I love it. With my tattoos and stuff on my body, it's something that I want to try to do a little bit more as well, is just make little marks on my skin where I've done something special. So like the back of my arm where I've got the world record last year in Kazan is, lots of people go, oh, well, what happens when you break, if the world record gets broken again, or you swim a PB and swim faster? But it's, for me, I look at that moment and it's like, well, that's one of my most special moments in my sport, is for me standing up and achieving a world record. It's something I probably never thought that I would be able to do, and having that as a memento, I guess, on my body and being able to reflect on it, I'm able just to remember that day as often as I look at the tattoos. So for me, my tattoos are almost my journal, and I think, you know, there's a few more journal entries that I want to be able to do over the next little period, and there's probably some entries that I still want to put on my body